Okay. Hope all this shit works properly. Move shit around. Okay. Yes. Whatever. Right here. Okay. I'm gonna sit or stand way the fuck back here. This hat. Fuck it. Okay. Posing 101. This can kind of go for anybody, not necessarily competition people. Just basic positioning of your hands, your body, just on the normal things you would see, like, I don't know, anybody posting stuff on social media, right? Like, you may not be a bodybuilder, but you just want to post a sick pic, you know? So this will be kind of the little tips and tricks, right? First thing, you're gonna want good lighting. Lighting can make a huge difference. Like, if I don't have good overhead lighting and it's just coming from the front, it's like, like this light up here is like okay, but if I don't have it, all I have is this light, it'll look really weird. Or if I have the main lights, like the light is here and here, but there is no light up here, so it's everything looks flat, washed out. You know, you can be as shredded as you want and it's still gonna look like shit. But once you add the overhead light, kind of not directly over you, sort of in front of you, makes a huge difference. So step one is lighting. Find good lighting. You want it to be fairly bright, not too bright. If it's too bright, it'll wash your body out, right? Especially if you're a white boy like myself. So if I crank this all the way up, like, it starts to wash everything out. As I lower the brightness, sort of puts it all together. Okay, so that's step one, lighting. Step two, everything is smoke and mirrors, basically. Smoke and mirrors. Like perspective. So if you want certain body parts to look bigger than they are, you want other body parts to be further away from the camera or the viewer. So for instance, if I want my waist to look very thin and small in comparison to my upper body, I'm going to push it backwards. So it's like if I'm doing a front double and I'm just like here, like, you know, most people don't think about their hips a lot. You're just doing a front double. It's like very wide waist. I can make my waist look smaller by pushing it back. Don't worry about the vacuum. Big one I see all the time is wrist position. A lot of people straight wrist it. This, they're like trying to, and they're perfectly out to the side. Don't do that. Like if I put my arms out to the side, my scapulas now come in, and it makes my lats not as wide. So you do want some elbow in the front. Then you want to not keep the strong wrists, or break them. Break the wrists. Make them like cobras, you know? Hide your thumbs. So that's going to be your basics, right? Another big one I see all the time is when like guys will do like a lat spread. They'll do a lat spread and then lean back, but the camera is here. That doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, you're giving a perspective of, but it's the wrong way. Like, the further your upper body away is from the camera, you're just keeping yourself flat. So if you're gonna lat spread, don't lean back. If you're doing a front lat spread, you want to lean more forward, right? On the back, sure. If you're doing back lat spread, sure, lean back slightly. You know? Oh yeah. Saw this one the other day. Same thing with abs and thighs. You're like, you know, everybody wants to get that sick, you know, this shot, right? So they're getting their abs in, but then they'll lean super far back, and then they'll put their head above their. Let me do it. They'll put their head above their elbows, so their elbows will be like here, and they'll be like this. This is super awkward. If you want your arms above your head, just you know, you don't gotta go crazy with it. Just elbows up. You can grab, I like to grab my hands behind my back, but your elbows don't want to be down here. They want to be above your head. Above the head. Then you can step forward, hips back, crunch them down. That's a simple one. That's a common in the bathroom mirror pick. Basics. What would another be? God, I hate this angle. This is a different angle just because I need it for the men's physique and classic physique stuff, because realistically the judges are going to be down kind of near the floor, but if you take all your pictures for posing in the same lighting, in the same shot, kind of have the camera about waist high. Kind of, I think this is more like right at my navel. That's about fine, because if I step about 6 feet away, you can still see my feet. You can see my feet positioning. You can see my head. Probably lower this. You know, you can see your head, you can see your arms overhead. You can see your feet positioning, you can see everything. So kind of get the same, if you're going to take progress pictures of your posing, make sure it's in the same place. Camera's generally going to be in the same place every time, especially in your house. You'll have that special spot. Everybody has that special spot in their house where lighting is going to be the best. So that's kind of what you're going to want to find. Stretching, slightly important for posing. You're immobile, you're gonna have a bad time. especially for certain things. Front doubles, back doubles, just for external rotation purposes. If you're too far forward, you're not gonna get the proper stuff going on. Men's physique doesn't really matter as much. I guess we can start with men's physique. So men's physique, they wear the shorts. They really only have two poses. They have their front shot, which can be straight on or slightly bordered. Like right now, the posing style right now that is winning posing, or that is at least winning shows, is always going to be some type of 3/4 shot from the front, whether it be your right side or the left side. Just figure out which side is your best, and that's the one you're going to want to do. There's no point in showing the judges both sides, especially if one side is not as good as the other. One side is stick with your money shot, and then the other one is just going to be a straight back shot. Like it's pretty much a back relax, shoulder width apart, hands up, just kind of showing your back. And then transitioning, guys can do a variation of transitions. We'll get to those. But typically you'll do like the Ventura step, or a lot of guys now won't even bother really doing transitions, because people are finding now, more so than not, the more you show judges, the worse off it is for you. So typically, guys, in men's physique, you'll walk to the middle. Usually there's a box, and you'll pick your favorite side. This is not my favorite side. Bad side. My good side, I lied. This is my good side, but it's not my favorite side. Typically play your lats. Crunch the abs. Relax the arms. You don't want, if you're too rigid, see a lot of guys, like, they look a little too stiff. I'm pretty stiff today just because ate a lot of food. You have shoulder problems. So, a lot of people have issues with lat engagement. That's going to be a big one. That's why we have this stick. You can get a stick. This is just a curtain rod that I use for various stretching purposes. But if you grab the stick, and for me, I put my thumbs out and I put them around where my sides are. You raise it up to about your belly button, and then act as if you're going to bench press the stick, but just with your shoulders. You will flare the lats. You're here, you're back, rolling my shoulders forward, pushing out the bar, allowing my scapula to come out. So you see my scaps. Scaps are in. Scaps are out. In. And it is helpful to just kind of play around with it, right? Like, it is a very awkward, learning how to engage your scapulas properly for lat engagement is probably one of the most awkward things and difficult things. Like, if you're naturally good at it, right? But people that have never really engaged their lats before, it takes a while. You know, I was not the greatest at engaging my lats early on, but with practice, you get really good. But the stick is helpful, because with the stick, your hands can stay in the position that they need to be in, and all you're doing is internally rotating your shoulders to push the stick out. And it's not very far. It's not like you're pushing it super far out, right? You're just internally rotating sort of like you're flaring your elbows out, but then obviously you can't flare them enough. That hurts. And so then your shoulders just have to move forward. And your scapulas should follow. The hugging redwood was a good cue for me. Yeah, so hugging a big tree, another big cue. The only issue I have with that one is, like, sure, if you're gonna hug a big barrel, you don't have a choice but to push. Your scapulas don't have a choice but to come out. So, right? So that does work. However, the issue with that is, if that's the only way you can engage your lats, it is very difficult to then learn how to engage them without actually making that motion, right? So with the stick, you're in the position you kind of need to be in, and then just pushing out. You're already in the position you need to be in, and your arms can be higher, but it is easier to engage them with your arms down. And eventually you can get your arms higher and higher up to engage them. And then the pose, like a lot of guys will do the Superman. If you have huge lats, a lot of guys will do the Superman pose. Like that I can't fucking need a bigger TV or something. No, that is not the color. This. I should have brought I have more time to set up. Well, foot positioning. If like the head judge is straight on, you're gonna want to be about 45 off of them, whatever direction you choose to go. Go this side, and then this foot is just stepping out slightly. Then you're just going to put most of your weight on this back foot. You're going to engage your lat. And so the big thing with men's physique is tiny waist, wide shoulders. So if you're just here and you're hitting the lats, you want to really rotate. You don't want to move your waist. You want to move your shoulders. So you can see this lat and this lat, but still keeping the waistline as thin as possible and being able to see the abs. But again, great use of the stick, right? Get your feet in the positions, really lean the hips, push out, and then you can play around, especially if you can see in a mirror or a camera, where and feel it, where your body really needs to be, right? The hip, some guys will do one hand on the hip, it's usually the close hand on the hip, and this one far. I don't like those at all. Like, not a lot of people are doing that now. It's mainly going to be like out and just like a relaxed drop. Don't have open hands. Hide your thumbs. Everyone wants a baby waist. Yeah. Baby waists are important. And then, once you hit that front shot, you're hitting that front. good, don't worry. Now you can do an easy transition is to just take the front step. Just like pull your arm as you walk and just come right to the back shot, which feet apart, about shoulder width. Gonna engage your lats again. Sternum super high to the ceiling. If you're like, you're not like leaning back, right? I'm not doing this, right? Don't do that. Okay. It is just this, right? So it's just flexing the back here, this lower back, raising your sternum to the ceiling, and crunching down in the back. Like, I'm not leaning back. It's more of it feels super awkward, and it's not comfortable at all. No, just for the record, no back posing should ever feel comfortable. You should want to not be in that position at all. You're like, this is not fun. You want to be in and out. Hold it for a couple seconds, come back. And for these transitions, you can either like take the one step here or just cross and step. The only problem with that is if you continue turning the same way you turned before, now you're at the opposite direction. So just make sure whichever way you're turning back into the front pose, back cramping, you're doing it right, exactly. Whichever direction you're choosing to turn gets you back to your original front shot in the least amount of steps possible. So if this is the side I'm front shotting, because this is the good side, right? I don't want to turn this way, because now I have to take like an extra couple steps to get back to this. So it's better to turn back the same way that I came, right? So that's just easy transitions, just moving. Don't make your arms weird. It's a lot easier both directions to just, once you're done, just cross arms and turn, right? You know, then you wave off and go. Then it is to, you know, you can try the Ventura step. A lot of people fuck it up. But typically, the Ventura step is supposed to be like to showcase your serratus, your obliques, a little bit of the tricep. The problem is a lot of people will step and they'll just like go like this. They're only showing their arm. It's not really a step forward, more so than it is like a step to the side technically. Because if I were to step forward, I'm walking this way. But if I step to the side and do it, right? And it's a crunch down and then a turn. Hitting on smiling and eye contact with judges on stage. I don't look at the judges. I look like above their head, I guess you could say. Like if this camera, you guys are the judges, I'm looking over their head into the darkness of the crowd. And the only thing that I'm seeing is just bright fucking lights in my face. I can see the judges clearly, but I'm not looking directly at them. I'm like looking right over their heads. So it's an immense physique. Smiling is pretty important, right? Just like, I like a little smirk. A little head turn. Okay. You can go to the back. Crack the back shot. Allow it to do. Classic physique. I mean, I don't know if you don't have to smile, right? But you don't want to look constipated, right? I mean, the requirements for men's physique posing are pretty much negligible in comparison to what is required in classic physique. Like I could pose men's physique for an hour straight and never break a sweat. That's just no one's sweating. If you're sweating when you're doing men's physique posing, you're doing something wrong, or you got to figure out your cardiovascular health, because something's going on there. There's really no, other than crunching down your abs, like, and keeping them tight the whole time, you're not ever flexing anything, right? It's like, everything is very relaxed, right? It's like I'm not flexing my chest, I'm not flexing my arms, they're just kind of sitting on. The only thing you're really doing is engaging your lats, is technically flexing your lats, but like your lats don't really take a lot of energy to flex. So it's very relaxed. The back shots take probably the most amount of energy, just because of how much is involved in that and how uncomfortable it is. But that's mainly just like an uncomfortable thing. Like once you get into the position, you can breathe all day. You don't really, it just, how long can you hold the cramp in your lower back is essentially, because you're not really going to sweat from the cramping in your lower back. You're just going to get a cramp from flexing your lower back. Any questions about men's physique in particular? Some people. I'm late. Oh, you are? Yeah. I was late too because it's thunderstorming. Forever to drive home. But that is pretty much men's physique. Very simple. I will probably add, I might actually cut in some old men's physique posing stuff that I did a couple years ago during prep, you know, so you guys aren't like, oh, what is this fat fuck now? Hi baby. Like, no, I can get shredded, guys. I can get shredded. But the biggest thing in every is like hands. Like you don't want open thumbs, you don't want open fingers, hide the thumbs. I kind of use like, not a fist, right? I don't do a fist unless I'm even in like bicep poses. I don't really make a fist and hide my thumbs. I'm doing more like I'm gonna fist you fist, you know? That makes any sense? It's like a soft fist. I don't know. Let's call it a soft fist. I don't think I'm missing anything for men's physique. Fine. All right, on to the good stuff. Classic physique. Everybody really wants, right? And you can use your stick to help stretch your external rotation. Disarm me. All right. Classic physique is a totally different beast because you actually have to pose. So trying to pose, or at least like trying to start posing 2 weeks out from a show for classic physique, not a great idea. You are going to suffer. You should be posing pretty much at the start of your prep, ideally year round, even when you're not in prep, just so you don't lose muscle memory on those poses. And things will change from prep to prep based upon how your body looks. So, you know, from like a previous prep, a certain pose may look better a certain way. And then after a growing phase and you come back and prep again, that same positioning that you're using for a particular pose may not look as good as a different variation of that pose, just based upon, you know, how your body changed. What do you need? You wanna go over there? You can't be here. You can't be right here. I know it's thundering and you're scared. It's weird. Go right here. Right, sit down, girl. Yeah, good girl. Lay down. Lay down. Good girl. Come on. Yeah, stay right there. Girl. Biggest things are going to be quarter turns and your mandatory poses. Your quarter turns are going to be your front relaxed, your left side relaxed, your back relaxed, and your right side relaxed. Your mandatories are going to be front double bicep, back double bicep, side chest, abs and thighs, and favorite classic. Wait, did I miss one? Did I miss any? I feel like I missed one. Thousand times. Favorite classic. Nope, you got them all. So you have to memorize a minimum of 9 poses. And realistically, your quarter turns are debatably the most important because that is when they first see you in terms of comparisons. So everybody's going to walk out. They're going to walk you out in a line. And then they're just going to have everybody do quarter turns and you walk off. A lot of times they won't even do the other mandatories in that first lineup until they start doing call-outs. So your first impression of your quarter turns is going to be your most important. So feet placement on a quarter turn. Front relax. Feet relatively comfortably apart. Not too far. If you're too far apart, gotta give it. Ugh. If you're too far apart, you're gonna have a gap. Gaps are bad. No gaps. No thigh gaps here. Okay? We close those shits. So, feet apart. You're gonna try to spread the floor with your feet. Like if these are my feet, I'm trying to grab the floor with my feet and literally wrench the floor, like twist the floor this way, like these are my toes. Fingers on my toes. Twist the floor this way and pull it apart. I'm going to do that. So like I place my feet, like a lot of guys will start like this. I don't like to do that. I will kind of start my feet just kind of straight. You'll have to play around with it, which works best for you. And as I wrench my feet, I'm slowly bending my knees slightly, squeezing my butt, make sure that this gap is closed. Okay. Engage my quads. Everything is there, right? So it's like I'm not bent a lot. Like from the side. Squeeze the butt. From the side, I'm not very bent. I'm hinging my butt back. Engaging my lats. My chest is up. Looking forward. To the front. That's what it's going to look like. A lot of guys, especially they don't get a posing coach and they don't really know any better, and they're just looking at poses from the front. You see a lot of guys that will just lean back in this. They'll do this. Or they'll be way too far forward, like this, and just trying to do this. It's like, you are hinged, but you still want your chest up. You want to elongate all of this. On the side, just this. Okay. Side relax. This works for both sides. You're always going to do the left side first. You're going to turn to the right every time. When they're done, you're going to quarter turn to the right. Try to do it in 2 steps. And by 2 steps, like plant the 1 foot, turn, and then you can, now for this, little tips and tricks. Feet first. Back foot. Toes go right. My toes are going right there. Right in the middle of my foot. And then I'm putting my foot down, but as I put my foot down, I'm taking this part of my leg and I'm sweeping it across this part of my leg. So then it makes my hamstring pop out more. It's basically cheating like a bicep. You know, like you're pushing your bicep to make it bigger, right? Doing the same thing with your leg on your leg. Scooping it, pushing it down. Now your knees. Now a lot of people tend to put their weight on their heels, and that tends to make you look as if you're leaning back when you're not, especially when you're trying to keep your legs straight. So a lot of guys won't straighten their legs. These need to be locked out, fully locked out. But to avoid making it look like you're leaning backwards, you put more pressure on your toes. So you're locking out, pressure on the toes, squeeze the butt. So, squeeze your butt. Straight legs, butt. So from the front, if you're to look at it from the front, this looks like this. I'm like sliding this leg against it, just straight. Okay. Now for the upper body. Once you get this, and this will be your cues every time you do it. Feet, legs, butt, torso. That should be like going in your head as you do these, right? Once you're here, engage your lats. Because all of this is a front relaxed that you're now turning to the side, right? That's all it is. A lot of people tend to pull their arm too far back, like they're trying to pull their arm like this. But if I pull my arm like this, I can't engage my lat if my arm is like this, right? So that if you're trying to do it like this lat is engaged, this one's doing nothing. This lat's just hidden behind me. So you still want to engage your lats, exhale, thoracic return, right? Here, butt, exhale all the air, squeeze your abs tight. Look forward. Try not to cover your butt. I know a lot of guys will do this. Like if you do this, they can't see the money makers. They can't see the abdominals, right? And a lot of guys will want to do this so they can scoop their chest, but you can still do that without covering your abs, right? That's that. Same on the other side. Just on this side now. Let's slide the foot. The hammy's going. Squeeze the butt. Shoulder height. And this one, for positioning, the stick actually is very useful for all of these poses. You can pretty much use the stick for all of your quarter turns, right? You can hit it. This quarter turn to the right. Too high, you can play with where your arm needs to be. All right. Front of the back, same thing. The back relax is the exact same as the front relax, only now you're not, it's like the men's physique back shot. Because a lot of guys will do this. And the problem with this is, now my butt looks fucking gigantic and my back looks small, right? So you want your butt, you want your hips to be forward. But the stick can come in handy here as well. Like here, same thing. You're spreading the floor, sort of bending. And because you're behind, you don't have to worry about your abs, you don't have to do shit. You can belly breathe, get all the air in you want. And usually they come back to the front. Mandatory poses. Front double bicep. There are many variations. You can do straight on, right? I don't particularly like straight on. You can straight arm, straight on, and each variation you can pretty much do punch down abs, vacuum dabs, half vacuum dabs. It just kind of depends what is going to make your waist look as small as possible, right? If you have a super small waist already and crunching down your abs looks good because you have wide lats, by all means, show those abs off. If not, vacuum is probably going to be the way to go, just because you will look a lot wider in a vacuum up top and a lot thinner in the waist area with a vacuum than you will with crunch abs. So, like if I hit a front double, feet are the same, right? Is the front relaxed? And if I do it with crunch abs, versus a vacuum, the vacuum makes the vacuum makes my upper, from like my sternum up, appear to be a lot wider than it actually is. I don't prefer front shot for that anyway, so I prefer here. You do it this way. So you still want your hips back every time. Anytime you're in a front shot, you want your hips to be hinged backwards slightly, not a lot. You don't want to be way back here, just enough so that you're getting the illusion. And with these 3/4 shots, it's like a hinge in the hip, right? So if I'm doing it facing this direction, like the audience is over there, so that you guys, it looks straight on, you can see the hinge hip. I'm like hinging on, like all my weight is on this leg now. Like this leg's just kind of here, right? Back double biceps. Actually, we'll do that one last. That one, so that's front double. Big noticeable mess ups there. Usually going to be hip placement, gaps in the thigh, in between your thighs. Make sure you're so bicep placement versus elbow, and like from your shoulders to your bicep to your elbow. A lot of people will straight line it, right? Like, yeah, it looks okay. Or they'll like do this with their arms out and they'll straight line it. Your elbow should always be slightly above your bicep peak, and your bicep peak should always be slightly above your delts. So there's always going to be, so it's going to come from here to like there. So there'll be a slight Y. Again, with the wrists, guys will do like locked wrists. Bend your wrists, like, and it's not because it looks, I mean, it does look better. The main issue there is like you want to flex your forearm. Think about flexing your forearm while you're doing the biceps. So if I'm here, I'm not really flexing my forearms at all. The moment I flex my forearms, you get a much better contraction in your bicep, and you get a forearm flex. Yeah, fit with Eric. Got him. Yeah. I want to break your fucking wrists. You can't actually have them straight anymore. I think that's all for that. Side chest. Well, I guess we'll do back double. Back double bicep. Get a smaller fucking suit. Yeah, thumbs in. Always. Never have your thumbs out. Which... I always thought that was a weird one anyway. Like... Put your knuckles to your ears, right? Like thumbs in, up. Don't point forward. That's fucking weird. Throw your knuckles to the back. Yeah, I know it's a thing. Back double biceps. A lot of people have. This is by far probably the hardest classic pose to do properly, just because there's so much going on that people pretty much consistently fuck it up. Whichever leg is more comfortable for you. A lot of guys will stick their bigger hamstring side out first. I don't. I leave my bigger hamstring forward. I do my... This is just a more natural place for me to stand. You step too far out. I see a lot of guys do this. They'll step too far out. Don't do that. Now you have this weird gap here. I see them step too far back. And then that looks weird too. You still want to maintain the X frame. So if you're standing and you place your toe about at the level, maybe slightly further back of where your heel is of your other foot, that is kind of the perfect place, right? Because I can still see this quad sweep. I can squeeze my butt, close the gap, and I can sit down enough to engage both hamstrings, right? And then same with this. The hips should be like tilted forward slightly, and you should be squeezing your ass as hard as humanly possible, right? And you're doing the same thing like in all the back poses. Back relax, men's physique back pose. The same thing is going on here. You're not leaning back. You are thoracically arching. And your sternum is trying to push to the ceiling, right? The same thing with this. Now, if you put too much, a lot of guys want to show their traps off, so they end up doing this, right? But you lose your lat. The whole purpose of a back shot is to show your width. So you want your lats to be out. So the only way to do that, if you're shredded enough, you don't got to worry about your traps. They're going to fucking see your traps, right? You want to push your elbows towards the walls on either side of you, right? And for me, that cue is in my peripheral vision. I can see my elbows and I'm pushing. So like from the side, this arm is fucked. I can't externally rotate that far. Let's not worry about it. So from the side, it's looking like this, right? So like my elbow is always going to be slightly forward so that I know my lats are engaged properly with my arms above your head. It is difficult to engage your lats with your arms above your head. Mainly because your scapula wants to travel upward. See how it rotates like this with my arm as my arms go up? So it's difficult for them to go out to the side when they want to rotate up. For me in particular, this one's fucked because scapula is stuck to my arm at like this position. So put it all together. You should have that X-frame, right? Hate that pose because it fucking hurts. More ways than one. Side chest. Everybody loves a good side chest. So I like to start here, right? Because just like our quarter turns, we want to make this hamstring pop. How do we make our hamstrings pop? We cheat and we push our other leg against the hamstring to make it bigger. So we slide our leg against the other leg. What goes there? Then weight down on that leg, engage the quad, squeeze the butt cheek. A lot of people don't squeeze the butt cheek because they forget about it. But you can see the difference in my hamstring when I squeeze my butt and I don't squeeze my butt. There's like soft, you know, and this is accentuated when you're shredded, but there is softness between my hamstring and my butt. And when I squeeze my butt, there's a clear like definition of where my hamstring is all the way up my back leg, right? So here, squeeze that butt. At the top, you can grab your hands however you want. I like to grab my wrist. A lot of people do the hook. Some people put fingers in their thumbs, do whatever fucking makes you feel the most comfortable. Grabbing the hands don't actually feel comfortable for me. There's too much going on there. You can be low. A lot of guys will, common problems, guys will hit this. There's not enough of my back delt showing. By back delt, I mean this arm in the back. You gotta really crank it. Want to see, there should be, your chest really shouldn't be, even if you have a huge chest, you should see the whole arm and the delt on the back side. Another common problem, guys will be too far like dipped in, right? You don't really need to like dip down that far. And you just need to play with, like if you have a huge gap in between your arm and this front arm, just because you're either, more than likely you're just rotated too far, or your arm is too close to your body, like that, like you're here, right? You need to somewhat chicken wing this arm so that you can engage your rear delt. Like watch my rear delt when I pull. If I pull this arm actively, I can activate my rear delt. If I doing that I'm like chicken winging my arm. So here, You could even cheat it more. If you chicken wing it even further, you can make this arm look even bigger, because now it is the closest thing to the judges. So the more you pull your arm up, the bigger you can make your arm look in terms of like your bicep. For this back arm, just hug it. Hug it to your body. Let it scoop. Let your arm scoop this pec, the back pec, so that you really can get a squeeze. Because this pec, you don't want to flex. This pec should just be there, looking fucking meaty. And this pec should be the pec that is flexed. All the striations in the middle, nice shelf, right? That's what you're gonna want there. Abs and thigh. Yeah, abs and thigh. Multiple ways of doing this one. I prefer just one leg back, tilted slightly, so you can get a nice view of the quad sweep. This foot, I put, you don't want a gap in your legs, right? So I put it just far enough, like if you can see my heel. If I were to slide this all the way back, it's just going to hit my heel of my other foot. This ensures there is no gap. And you can do, you know, guys do the step. You can either step hard down to get that flex. You can toe it. Doesn't really matter. You just got to press into the floor, get that going. And that's going to be where it is. But you're always going to have your hands up first. I like to grab like this, but you can also, God, this arm is not having a good time today. Put the back of your hands together, right? Because from the front, you don't want to be way out here. Like if you look like this, like a Y, no. Close the, still want them close into your head. Your arms as close to your head as possible. That's why I like to grab. Either grab my neck, grab my hands. Doesn't, you know, I don't want my arms out here though. I want them in close onto my head. Here. From the side, you are slightly hinged back. Not like super far forward. Slightly hinged back. You're just crunching down. You got a vacuum. I like to crunch down and vacuum. Shitty vacuum today because it's full of fucking food and water. It's fine. And then back down into your crunch. So once you get into this position and you hit that thigh and you crunch down, stay crunched unless you're going to vacuum. And you crunch back down. Like if you have an issue with, you have an issue with holding crunched abs and not being able to breathe, this is something you can work on pretty much daily. Just walk around perpetually flexing your abs. Just flex them as hard as possible and don't stop. You can breathe just fine because now you're chest breathing. You're still crunching down the abs. Like you don't need your diaphragm to do anything. So that's, once you can just always be flexing your abs and be able to talk, breathe, do all those things, everything else is kind of easy after that part, right? Because if you're, a lot of people will flex their abs, but then they don't breathe when they're flexing their abs, right? So then they're holding their breath longer than they need to hold their breath in most of their poses because they're incapable of keeping tight abs and being able to breathe at the same time, right? Which is hugely problematic if the only relief you're really getting from deep breaths is when your back is when your back is turned to the judges, and then you're like and then you come to the front and you always see the guys on stage and they're like trying to flex and then they're just losing it because they're trying to breathe. It's like, you need to learn how to be perpetually ab flexed and breathe at the same time. You don't need your stomach to breathe. I don't know who told anybody that they need their stomach to breathe. You don't. Your lungs do all that. Like, I'm breathing just fine. Like if Holder would have kicked me in the chest, right in the stomach, nothing, baby. Be fucking kicking a brick wall. Not really. He'd probably fucking knock the wind out of me. But, you know, I would still be breathing. It is hard. Alternate. I don't even know if I do these ones. Alternate abs and thighs is kind of 3/4 turned, right? Same thing. Your legs are still there. You're just turned in. You're just turned slightly. Only one arm is up, and you're hitting this. This is good if you have a wide fucking waist. If you wide waist boy, do that. Because if you have a super wide waist, and when your arms are above your head, your lats aren't coming out at all, then you need to be at an angle so that you have an illusion of a much smaller waist than you really have. But typically you won't see a lot of guys do that. But yeah. MK677. Sure, that is a SERM. It is not an actual SARM. That's not a SARM, that's a SERM. And it doesn't fucking do anything, so there's no point in taking it. Unless you have problems eating a lot of food, there's no reason you would ever need to take that unless you have an issue with eating a bunch of food. Because it doesn't fucking do anything muscle growth wise. The only real thing it does is increase ghrelin production. But yeah. And like the advantage you think you're getting from MK677 is pretty much non-existent because it doesn't do anything except help you eat a lot of food if you're taking a lot of it. Otherwise, why? Favorite classic. A lot of favorite classics. Mine personally is that guy. You could do rear glute spread. No, you can't do that. You cannot do rear glute spread. If you have big fucking arms, okay, side try is probably going to be your moneymaker, right? Which multiple versions of side try, you can set it up like a side chest. Hit it here, right? I don't have big fucking arms, so I don't do this. But it's like, even here, you want a little bit of your back arm delt coming in. There is going to be a gap here, but that's because you need to push. Once you get into the position, you need to pull your shoulder back. And then you crunch down on the abs. Another variation of this is from here, you can go here, hit that. Kind of hit there. This works if you have a tiny waist, big wide shoulders, right? You can hit this here, hit that. Pretty aesthetic. Another variation instead of that way, you can crank this calf out. Got big calves and big arms. Cool. Crank it here. Same concept. I don't do victory pose. I gotta be like way back here for that. I can't even see myself. Victory pose. You can be up. I don't even know which way it is. Which way is it? I don't know. I don't do these ones. Victory pose. I can see myself in the mirror. Which foot is out? Oh, this is one. Right? Like, boom. Fucking Arnold pose, probably one of the harder ones to do. But this, like, mainly because everybody fucks this up and they try to do this. Like, Arnold, man. Hell yeah, dude. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Arnold is here. Hips forward.
Kiss my ass!
Front double. And you're leaning. Like if I come to the front and show you from a front side of this, it's this. I'm just like, boop, and pulling this back arm. So from the front. Hips forward. This is what it looks like. It's fucking stupid as shit. It hurts. Victory is straight on. No. This? No. What? There's no tilt? To this. I don't know. Partial vacuum, Francis. Then Fado, hand over. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like this. Like big ass arms. Big ass arms, big ass legs. That's a good pose, actually. There's a lot of poses. That variant and looking down at open hand. Everybody loves the fucking mantis. Mantis is good if you have big ass arms, but it's and a big ass chest, because it is mainly. I mean, it's essentially a fucking side chest, right? Here, up with different legs, like here, and then instead of here, this arm showing off your big ass arm here. And this one was doing it here. But it's a fucking hideous pose. Very few people can do it properly. I honestly don't think anyone can do it properly other than Arnold. He would just had a freak fucking physique. It worked for him. I don't know. But a lot of people, it's like you need to be, both your arms have to be like this so that your bicep is showing here. And then it's like, so it's like you're flexing your arm, but then your hand needs to be turned this way, not your arm. A lot of people turn their arm. It has to be, you're still flexing your bicep, like it's an open flexed bicep, and then you're turning your wrist, and that's for both sides. Like, I don't have huge arms, so it doesn't work for me. Click on a thing? God damn. Victory pose. Victory. Ah. I got it. Got it now. Okay, I was way off. What's this one? Son of Zeus? Is that the one? You got fucking huge legs for this. Arms out like cobras. Am I missing stuff? What am I missing? High chest is fuck with that one. Fuck, my arms are small. I also don't have a pump. None of this is with a pump. I'm flat as shit. But no pump. No pump posing fucking workshop. How fucking great is that? Looks like a fucking jackass. Questions? I want to go to sleep. Why is he even a pose? Because Arnold did it and he's like, check out my fucking huge arms. Look at me, you fucking cunts. You'll never be as good as me. Never. I'm a fucking lion. Easiest way to make a posing routine. Find 5 or 6 poses that you like. Also, stay away from shit that requires you to be on the ground, like this, like this. That requires a ton of mobility, 2, a ton of balance and coordination, and when you're shredded, a lot of that just goes out the fucking window. So, you know, unless you're hyper mobile and do this a lot, you know, and can easily get up from one knee, stay away from poses on the ground. Like, unless it's like a single knee, that's fine. Like, if you're just coming down this way, that's fine. Because, like, there are poses like that. But where you can, you know, up this way. But try to avoid the straddled on the ground shit. They're difficult to come out of. They're difficult to get into. They're difficult to come out of. And that's not going to be how to make an easy routine. So you're going to want to find 5 or 6 poses that you can nail and piece them together, right? So let's say if you like your front double, right? And you also like I don't know, teapot or something. Like, you like one hand on the hip, one arm up, like here, right? You could come from a front double, come down with the arm, come back up. Or if you try not to do stuff that's difficult to come from the front to the back, right? So, like, a good way to get to the back would be to do something that's going to easily set you up to make a quick turn to the back, right? Without a lot of steps. So a 3/4, something in the 3/4 pose department. So if I'm here and I'm posing, you know, I could come out of this, I could sweep and come into like a back shot, into like a lat spread. Like from a lat spread, you could step, you could bring the arm up, and come into some other pose. So find, and the best way is to start out with like 2 poses that you can flow together easily, and then do that with another 2 poses, and then figure out how to take those 2 pose flows and put them together, and then do that with a third, right? You can move them around, put them in, but that's going to be the best one. So if someone was going to make a video, they would just do 5 poses and milk them for time and add simple transit. Well, how much time are we talking? Like 30 seconds. Because it's not like you're just going into the pose, right? It's like there's going to be some fucking flair. Because if you're just, a lot of the guys get up there and you see them and they're just like, crack. They're like, crack. And they're like, oh God, and they're not that you have to add flair and artistry to it, but that kind of is what this is. It is a dance. You don't have to do the dance part, but it does look a lot better. And you'll appreciate posing a whole hell of a lot more if you practice pose flows, right? So, you could always come from here, like that's 3 right there, right? Now getting out of that is a different story, but 30 to 60 seconds. So 30 to 60 seconds, I would say you could easily do 6 poses comfortably within 60 seconds. Just because if you're holding each pose for 2 or 3 seconds, a transition's gonna be 2 to 3 seconds, depending on what you're doing. Like 8 is probably the max out of 60 seconds. And they don't have to be one right after, you don't have to be like, hit a pose, do something flowy into another pose, and then into it. Like that, you could be posing, and then like walking around, just, I mean, that right there, that was probably like 8 seconds with 3 poses, but they don't have to be that fast, right? How do you vacuum so well? I was doing it when I was a child, so I discovered I could vacuum in the bathtub when I was a kid. I would just lay down in the tub, suck my stomach in, let the water come in, and I would do this weird thing where, with the outside still sucked in, I would push the center forward, and it would look like I had an alien face, because my nipples were the eyeballs, and like the mouth was my belly button, and so it would look like an alien head. I used to do that a lot. And then, I don't know. You practice vacuuming enough, which you should probably practice on the floor first, laying down. Now you have gravity helping you, right? Then you practice on your hands and knees, or leaned up against, an object, right? So you can brace against something, and you just hold it for as long as possible. Now, the fatter you get, the more difficult that becomes, because you're not only pulling in your muscle wall of your abdominals, you're also trying to pull in all the fat as well, which does weigh an amount of weight. So You want to see the alien? I don't even know if I can do it right now. I can't really do it right now. Can't do it like deep enough right now. Yeah, I can't do it deep enough right now. I got too much fat. Do it deep enough. Good posers. Christopher Barnett. He has a lot of good, quick 3 to 4 pose flows that he posts pretty much almost daily on his Instagram. I think it's like CB Fit 317 or something. He actually works. He was hired by Terrence Ruffin, the best poser in the league. Which Terrence is a great example of just artistic pose flowing. I mean, he makes his shit up pretty much backstage day of, like hours before he has to do it, because he is constantly posing, so it's easy for him to quickly put stuff together like that, because he's just always posing, right? He loves the art of it. So, yeah, Rough Diesel, Chris Barnett. Is his name Chris Barnett? I think his thing is CB Fitness 317. I could be wrong. But he posts a lot of stuff of just like quick 2 to 3 poses. CB317 Fitness. Christopher Barnett. There's this Italian guy. I think he's Italian. He might be actually. He does a lot of good single pose tutorials, as well as like 1 to 2 or like 2 to 3 like pose flow things with simple breakdowns. Fuck, I forgot his name. He usually wears like a white like compression shirt when he's posing, which I assume is just when he's in the off season, just because he's like all of us and is super fucking self-conscious about their bodies. Yep, see. Let me see if I can find him. So many fucking thoughts all over this goddamn. It's like impossible. What the fuck? Oh my god. Going over. Want to order? Not going over. Fuck. They're all over the place. Oh my god, I'm never gonna find this. What? What's his name? Well, I don't know his name, so you don't get his name. But the next time I see one of his posts of posing, share it. Look it in here. What the fuck? Dude, like half of these are just fucking nude. What the fuck? Instagram, you need to chill the fuck out. I shouldn't have to hyper like bodybuilding posts for you to get rid of every fucking chick with a thong in the search. Jesus Christ. Bird. Fuck it, Dan. Okay, Dan, you suck. You're not getting any food. Fuck you. I hate you. I figured one would come up by now. Hashtag pose? Posing? All chicks. Bro. Stop. Posing tips, maybe? He puts it under posing tip. Jesus, it's still chicks. What in the fuck? Dude. Okay. I don't like them. That's the problem. They just keep showing up. Okay. Oh, yeah. If you want personalized help on posing, you can message me. My rates are $50 for a half of an hour with a personalized posing session and $75 for an hour. So those are if you want personalized posing or you want one-on-one help, where you pose, I will critique the poses, help you tweak them, help you make them better. DM me. That's something. $50 for a half hour, $75 for a full hour. Free if you show me your hole. I want to see your hole. Free if you show hole, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Slowly getting back into my posing routines because shoulder shit. It is getting better. It's still difficult to raise my arm, but not nearly as bad as it was now that I have a cortisone shot. But hey, it's never gonna get actual better until I cut half my arm off and they give me a new shoulder. So any more questions? Posing is important for bodybuilding. It is. It is debatably the second most important thing in bodybuilding next to getting yourself stage ready. It is actually kind of a travesty how many people I see on stage that have great shape and size, and they just can't pose for shit. And I don't know if they were just taught incorrectly, they think they don't need to get a posing coach, or they just don't bother to want to learn that aspect of it, like Dr. Mike. I don't know. But I see a lot of guys that are smaller that make themselves look better than a lot of guys that are bigger because they just can't pose. So it's like you can make a fairly small physique look a lot better than a bigger physique if you know how to pose well. So take posing seriously. You should be doing it in the off season. You should be 100% doing it almost daily in prep, and getting critiques, not necessarily doing, a lot of times, like, what looks good to you may not actually look good to an outside source. So fix my posing at TwitchCon, thank you. Okay. You pose decently well, considering. Considering you only did it one time. Yeah, like posing can seriously fuck up your placing, especially in classic physique when there's a lot of technical aspects to your quarter turns, and if you're not doing them properly, you could easily get outshined by somebody who doesn't have as good of a physique as you maybe, Perhaps they're smaller. They could even be bigger. But it's, if they are posing better than you, they are showcasing their physique far better than you are. And you're probably not going to place as well. Put my pants on there. But those, it's a classic. Yeah, fucking moon pose, dude. Actually, you know, they really should bring it back. I think bodybuilding judges are just closet homosexuals and they don't want to stare into. And I'll tell you why it's a good pose. When you're shredded and you do this, it's like all of this just fucking comes through. Moon pose, baby. Yeah, glute spread. Hell yeah. I need to put my camera back. Like, I'm on a tripod now. Like, sometimes I'll fuck around and just do poses incorrectly, and it looks dumb as fuck to me. Like, I know this looks stupid as shit, because it's wrong. So it's, you know, I look back at videos and pictures of myself prior to really focusing on fixing my posing and knowing how to pose properly, and I cringe when I look at it. I'm like, oh god, what the fuck. Low angle better with camera? For this, yeah, just because it's a neutral point on your body where nothing is getting, from a judging standpoint, this is kind of what they're going to see. They're actually going to be lower than this, but, you know, if you keep the camera around the center of your torso, you get a better idea of where your physique is, right? So here is better than up top. Like, obviously you can take camera angles and make things better, you know, for social media or whatever, but for pure bodybuilding, really getting yourself comparison pictures over time, having the camera minimally in the same place with the same lighting is going to be ideal, or is going to be good. But it is ideal if the camera placement is somewhere around mid-torso, because when you step back, it's a good neutral point at which your whole physique is showcased. Yeah, the judges are usually, because you're on stage, you are on a stage, and the judges are usually in the front row below the stage. So, like, their heads are essentially at the level of the stage. So, yeah, I mean, realistically, like, the judges are even lower than this. They're like, fuck. Ooh. I mean, realistically, the judges are looking at you like this. Even more extreme in most cases, because you're on a stage and they're down below. So which is why you see a lot of guys bending this way in a side chest. But, like, you don't really need to be extreme about it. It's just you can hit it just fine. but you don't really need to practice from that view, from that vantage point. Practicing from torso height is perfectly fine. Because if you're doing it properly from torso height, then you'll be fine anyway. Because there's not going to be much change. When classic debut, I don't know. I'm fucking. Never. I don't know. When I'm big. When I'm 180 pounds shredded. Not at least for another year. Got another year to go at least. We'll see how this growing phase works out. And then go from there. Cricket? Jiminy Cricket over here. And she says I look bigger. Finally, somebody thinks I look bigger. I don't way fucking bigger. We all got bigger, yay. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Vaccines. Make sure you get vaccinated, guys. If you want to get big, you gotta stay vaccinated. I'm going back. I'm going backwards. See, like, look how much lighting makes a difference. Lighting's fucking nuts. Those sweet ball sack calves. Wish I had big arms so I could fucking this. But alas, no big arms for me. All right, I'm super tired. Got like 5 hours of sleep last night, and I have to do fucking legs tomorrow morning. So, dude, should I leave this on the tripod? How can I pull this? Not pull this very far. On my range, I can go. Ooh, but longer cord, I guess. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, yeah. Got done with coaching the gym. Well, I just got done with this whole fucking seminar workshop. So. Ooh. Hell yeah, dude. Goron build, baby. Let's go. Got the Goron build, dude. Yeah, I have a victory poster. US. Goron build could be an emote. My octopus, dude. Eyeballs, fucking. All right. Guess I'm leaving this like this for tomorrow. Cause easy. On tripod now. Neat. Better. Getting better. I think it's going away. Oh, hey, Chris. Thanks, I hate it. What? Oh, the view? This viewpoint? This vantage? Boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh. It's the... How you been? Long time no see. Oh, the ab gut? Yeah. Oh. I'm like so full of food and water today, dude. Super tired. I wonder how much doo-doo is in there. I don't know. There can't be much. We'll find out what I weigh tomorrow morning. It better be fucking over 173 or I'm gonna lose my shit, dude. If I have to be eating 4,000 calories... I'm actually surprised I only had 84 grams of fat today. That's like really good. That went away. I think it was just from bin biking. Funny. That one day. I'm getting started on that. Yeah, that's... Look, having back problems is Acro's thing. Don't fucking steal his thing, dude. He gets very upset. He's like, you fucking asshole. How about get your own thing, god damn it. Oh, shit. Ask me about my back. Yeah, it sucks. Thanks. You doing better? You ran out of prednisone? Fuck. Alright. Still a flash flood warning going on? Yes. Still raining like a motherfucker outside? Yep. Cool. Okay. Well, anyway. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I might do more like mini workshops that's just focusing on a single pose that are quicker, like 30 minutes. But, you know, I got legs to do, sleep to do, penis to jerk, butthole to finger. I got a lot to do. So, are you still sick, Chris? I was in Frederick. I was like, I think she's still sick. I didn't, like, I'm pretty sure she's sick. I haven't seen her in stream all week. So. I hope you... It's not COVID, is it? It's just like the flu. Yeah, get better, you dingus. I know. I'm like, is she gonna go live? Is she gonna go live? It's Tuesday. Hello? Hello? Probably had the Rona, but test came back. Yeah. Dude, I never once tested positive with coronavirus. That annoyed me. Like, can I fucking test positive one time, please? Spicy cough stream. Getting COVID in 2020? No, like even in 2020, 2021, 2022, I would get sick and never fucking test positive. What the? When am I gonna test positive? When is Microsoft Edge gonna Microsoft come, dude? Oh, I had to go. Oh, yeah. That definitely fucked you up for sure, dude. Then your thing could be shitty lungs. I'll never have shit. My lungs are... I fucking only get a free dive like once a year. My lungs are golden, bro. There's nothing quite like being underwater for like 2.5, 3 minutes. Swimming around. You're like, is he dead? Is he coming up for air? Like, I'm good. Good. This acne's getting better. It looks like it's drying up. My body wash stuff. Well, that's a positive. Yeah. That was pretty mild. I just didn't want to go to work. I had to lie about having COVID every time to not go to work. Like, I have COVID. Here's a positive test I found on the internet. Works every time. Works every time. Alright, this is like a weird angle. It's like this normally. Still so low. Christ. Dude, it feels weird. Tripod went higher. Tomorrow it comes in. I'll try it tomorrow. I'll try it tomorrow. Night. I'll have the wife rub me down with it. She's gonna yell at me. Like, you're using too much stuff on your skin. I'm like, listen, you're the one with bad skin, okay? Let me fuck my skin up for once. Hell yeah, on stream? Yeah. ASMR cream stream? Hey, yo! ASMR cream stream? Let's do it, dude. Oh, it's going away, though. It's like awkwardly red now. They're not like as bumpy as they were. They're just like fucking red. Oh my god, don't get me excited. Dude, I still want somebody to make me a team, a stream team that's called Cream. And we're the Cream team. Cream stream team. Alright, I really gotta go now. Alright, see you guys tomorrow morning for hammies. I'll probably do a couple quad exercises to really make up for the bullshit. I might try front squats. We'll see. Ooh, I'm gonna do these fun hack squats with a barbell tomorrow. So, yeah. Alright, no bullshit, no excuses to get it done. Suck today's dick. I already sucked mine. Stay spicy. See you guys later.